Hi, it's Mitch from Pickdawgz.com here with your free pick in the Spurs versus Jazz NBA matchup on Tuesday, December 26, 2023. We do tons of free picks every day at Pickdawgz, but if you're looking for our best bets, those are the ones you find under the Premium Picks tab. You can use the discount code PICK for 15% off. We also have the Dime Club and Sharp Trading Plays. These are meant for people who make big bets. If that's you, go ahead and text the number that you see on the screen because they're not available on the website. You gotta text the number. But let's get to this one. Spurs taking on the Jazz, two of the worst teams in the NBA this season, but I believe the Spurs could be the worst team in the NBA. I think they're in the mix with the Detroit Pistons, who are having that epic losing streak. But the thing is that, for the Spurs, I think they're actually a worse team than the Pistons. And we'll get into that in just a second. Just 4-24 on the season, 11-17 against the number, and 1-9 straight up in their last 10, though they are 4-6 against the number. The Jazz, 12-18 on the season, and they have been miserable on the road, just 4-13 straight up, 6-11 against the number, but overall 16-14 against the number this season, and 5-5 straight up and against the number in their last 10 games. I think what we've seen from the Jazz is certainly a series of injuries once again this season, but I think that outside of that, this isn't a team really ready to contend, but they have won 3 of their last 4 games, covering the spread in each of those against the Nets, the Pistons, and the Raptors, and they were underdogs in every one of those games. They, in fact, have been an underdog in all of their last 10 games. So the expectations for the Jazz are pretty low, but actually when you look at the roster and you look at them when they're healthy, it's really not that bad of a team. And I think that, sometimes people get a little bit ahead of themselves because Clarkson and Markkanen can play with just about anybody. And I think there's any team out there would be happy to have them. And I think even when you look back at the Donovan Mitchell trade, I think that Sexton certainly has a big high side for the Jazz, and it was seen like, this guy was a first round pick, a very high first round pick, and what we're seeing, with him and with Brandon Miller, these guys from Alabama can play in the NBA, man. There's something that they're doing right there in Alabama, putting NBA players onto the court. Actually, I think having a lot more success with their NBA players than they are with their NFL players, and that's a different argument for a different show, and I'm sure you guys will love to argue with me about that. When we look at the Spurs, they've now lost 4 games in a row. They've done a ton of losing this season. They did cover the spread in Milwaukee against the Bucks, but they were getting 15.5 in that one. I think in this one, it just to me seems that the public is still just a little bit giving the Spurs just a little bit too much grace. This is a team that plays matador defense. I mean, they could be the worst defensive team in the entire NBA. And while the Jazz don't play much defense, boy, they look like just the old Pistons teams compared to the Spurs team. I'm going to take the Jazz. I think this is a strong play, and that's going to be my free pick. Of course, while you're doing your picks, putting your bets in, use our free betting tools at sportschatplace.com. The betting tools are 100% free, and they'll help put you on the most favorable bets on the board today.